and of course happiness. And of course with this, many of us want to travel out of this city or travel into this city. But guess what? The various means of transport are not very accommodative for Ugandans, but majorly at least we use the roads on a daily. That's why we have words like traffic jam, or so many things that the expert will be telling us today. But today, Thursday, because Christmas is just a day away, we want to take care of your safety, and of course in conjunction with the Uganda Police Force. Now we want to talk about your safety and majorly looking at traffic. And there would be no better choice of person to discuss this with me here than my brother Ndugu Sereko Rogers. Morning.
Good morning.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
It's been a while.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you. You have glowed in the time I've not seen you.
Yeah, thank you.
How is everything?
Okay.
How is the family?
Thank God. Family is fine.
That's lovely. You know, there's this saying that the glow of a man, or the hard work, the products of how well they execute the work they do, is a reflection of how good a family they have.
Absolutely.
Because it is the support system.
I want to believe so.
It is the truth, apparently. You know how good the madam helps and how the kids are also supporting, but it's
Absolutely.
good. It's good to have you.
Good to have you too.
We do say sorry about what happened, the bombs. We understand we lost colleagues.
It was really absurd, but we thank God that we managed to survive.
Yes.
Some of us.
Yes, absolutely.
Some of us were not as lucky.
I know.
Yes.
But we still pray for the comrades that we lost in the same.
Yeah, some are still admitted, but we pray that they will pull through.
Be better.
Yes.
Well, now we're talking about traffic festive season. This is the season where it is said there is lots of accidents.
Yes.
I don't know for what reasons. For what, either happiness, or is it part of the celebrations? It is. I mean, maybe you can just help us paint a picture of why we should be discussing traffic in a season like Christmas.
Yes. This is a season when we get challenges in our department, traffic and road safety. It is the season when we register so many accidents, so many people die, so many people are injured, they get permanent injuries. Some survive. But overall, it is the season when we register so many accidents. And I think the major causes vary. And they are a cocktail of causes. Because there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of
alcohol,
excitement, there's a lot of drink driving, there's a lot of careless pedestrians. So that's why I'm calling it a cocktail, really.
Okay.
But as traffic, of course, we also step up on our operations to ensure that our people are safe on the roads in this season. We try as much as we can to ensure that our drivers, any road user, because it's not only the drivers who are the road users. Some think they're the only ones, but actually everyone on the road, including a lame person, is also part of traffic.
Okay.
So it is important that we ensure that everyone arrives safely wherever they are going, especially those who are leaving the city, because the traffic now is facing outward.
As they get out.
Yeah, all highways are now so busy.
Okay.
I have one of my bosses who was stuck in Busega there as early as 6 o'clock in the morning. Can you imagine? So you can imagine what's going to happen. There's a lot of movement. And in the process again, this is when we find cases of so many accidents, unfortunately.
Indeed. Now, of course, looking at this whole thing of traffic, we need to put information out there consistently, having highlighted some of the challenges. Now, we need to know, and it's important, you did talk about the kind of people who are on the road. Like, if we can apportion responsibility, who's supposed to do what when they're on the road? For example, we have road users, pedestrians, cyclists. Like, if we could just also help get to that, who is supposed to do what on the road?
Yeah, it is all behavioral.
Okay.
I'll call it that, because we need to respect each other on the road.
Yes.
Because there are incidences when people who are driving bigger vehicles think that they are more important than those ones of smaller vehicles. Then you will find a lot of disrespect. A coaster driver minimizes the one who drives a minivan or a smaller car. So they tend to bulldoze them off their lanes. Yeah. So it is discipline. I think it is important that we all are disciplined on road. Okay. We should have courtesy on road, which lacks here in Uganda. Courtesy lacks here in Uganda, and it is causing a lot of jam. Yeah, I'll call it that. Yes. Because you can imagine in a junction where there's a lot of traffic, say a T-junction, where one wants to cross the other side, and yet there's no space for him. And then he blocks that junction, yet these other people would be flowing freely. Yes. Yeah. Until one space is created ahead so that they can go and fill the other space. No, they rather not do that. They rather close the junction and then block all these other people to flow. That's why I'm saying that courtesy is important when you're a driver. So a good driver should have courtesy for others. So without that, if we miss that point, that's why you find all these cases of, you know, minor accidents, people knocking each other. Then we have this border hula baloo in the city. And that's what I wanted to ask next. Yes. Is the traffic police also, is part of your jurisdiction, borders? Because it would be hard to believe that, do you focus much on cars than borders? Is it part of your jurisdiction? If it is, what is failing to regulate these people? You know, that would be best answered by the controllers, regulators of these incoming motor vehicles. Because as you see it now, borders are too many. They're too many, they are too reckless, they are, you know. So as police, we try as much as we can. If you went to police stations today, you will see so many borders there. So many offenders are there. And what happens? They don't even come back to claim their borders. Why? Because most of them are people owning them illegally. They stole them, They committed offenses on them, So they know that they're wanted. They tilt the number plates to face up in the sky instead of facing straight. So we are carrying out all these operations to try to manage the indiscipline of borders. Something also quite interesting is the use the use of big cars in the central region. We have been having a problem, like trailers. They normally cause jam and accidents. We don't know and we have heard of a rumor that maybe they're not supposed to be in roads, say the city center. Maybe you can clarify on this, Mr. Sereko. When I was growing up, when I was a bit younger, I used to hear that most of these trucks, especially petrol tankers and some of these trailers, were not allowed in the CBD, Central Business District, during daytime. They would ply at night. When I was younger, but now, anytime they are plying in the city. So I don't know where the policy died, because when I grew up, it had slid away. So I can't really say where that policy. Should it be under your confines to regulate this? Because it will be so embarrassing. You find a spoiled trailer on Kampala Road, and there will be a lot of jam. I don't know if there are no penalties. Even given the nature of our roads. Yes, they are quite small, and then now you have almost the whole afternoon jam on that particular road. Like, what are some of the solutions we can put in place, and majorly as traffic? For now, it is a policy issue. You're the experts. It is a policy issue. As traffic, there's no way we can wake up and say we don't want trailers in the city anymore. That is a policy that is handled in higher offices to come up with such a decision. Level. But for us, we manage the only way we know how to see that there is free movement in the city.
Let's go to movements, Fanny and Sedeko, and this is where now we may place our major focus. It is festive season.
Yes.
People are going out, people are coming in. You did mention that around this time there's a lot of accidents.
Yes.
What do we do to avoid these accidents? We know that you have made studies as the traffic, you have been there before. So on the first Christmas, you've experienced these things. What, and let's just to look at them categorical, what can we do to avoid road accidents? Both users and also the enforcers on your side.
As enforcers, for us, we are doing what we know best. we are carrying out operations. Operations are going on. Fika Salama is going on.
It's back?
Yes.
It has never gone.
Back. our Minister of Works and Transport actually told us to step it up.
Great.
And we are doing that exactly. Our highways are deployed.
Oh, yes.
And all those people who are facing out need to know that we are there.
Okay.
And they need to ensure that their cars are in perfect shape. Otherwise, they're not going to enjoy their Christmas. We are going to inconvenience them. You need to leave your home knowing that your car is in a very good condition. You test it yourself. Ensure that the indicators are working.
Okay.
Ensure that you have the right tires. I mean, not these baby skin tires.
Yes.
Yeah. You ensure that your tires have the right grip. Ensure that your brakes are working well. You know, to be just very careful
and conscious.
About your safety first. Of yourself and then for others.
Indeed.
Otherwise, if you just leave, you know, there are people who insist on driving cars even when they know that there's a problem with the car.
Yes.
They will know that this car is not braking well,
but they will drive
but they will still drive that car. You understand? Well, it can sustain you for 1, 2, 3 days, but then the 4th day you may not be as lucky.
The risks are high.
So what will happen? You might end up injuring yourself, you might die, you might end up injuring other people, and you know its financial implications in such incidences. So I think it is important that you ensure that your car is roadworthy.
Okay.
Yeah, before you start. And then on top of that, also ensure that you have the right documents with you so that you are not inconvenienced on the road.
And by that we mean the driving license.
The driving license, yes.
The insurance.
The third party sticker on your car.
Yes.
You will be good to go.
Okay.
And then also remember that also SOPs are still in place.
Yes.
Yes.
And the traveling time.
I think people think that because of this season, the SOPs have been relaxed. Whereas not. So you find that our friends, the bus drivers, the taxi drivers, are trying to load excess. So we are also enforcing SOPs as well at our Fika Salama checkpoints. If you come with excess on your vehicle, we first of all, you will be given a ticket, and then those people will be told to disembark that vehicle, and then we shall beckon you to refund their money. Because you, as the owner of that vessel, you are supposed to know what is in place
should
now.
Have known.
So even if, because some of them, what they do, they leave the park in the right numbers, and then along the way, they start adding other passengers on the vehicle. But just know that we are on road, and we are enforcing this.
There's this whole thing that we have noticed. Many roads have roadworks, I don't know, maintenance.
Yes.
And this. If you just would make a comment, like, and these have been the major sources of traffic in the spots. Why don't we have, I don't know if there's any way this can be done better. For example, when you go to Ginger Road, oh my God. Oh my God, someone can spend about 2 hours.
That is true.
And this alone causes probably accidents.
That is true. That is true. But you know, the way our roads are right now, we don't have so many alternatives. So once the roadworks are there, just expect that kind of inconvenience.
You just have to plan better.
Yeah, you just need to plan better. You just need to move earlier. Plan yourself well so that you don't get inconvenienced. But unfortunately, it is very hard to do that because you can also plan better, yet even other people are planning better like you are.
Indeed.
So you all end up on the same road at the same time. But again, also government projects have to go on, you know.
Absolutely.
So now we have been experiencing a lot of jam along Kalere,
Yes.
because of that, you know,
Yes.
update of that roundabout, that interchange,
Yes.
the newly constructed one. But it is a short-lived inconvenience. With time, people are going to be
Need to
happy.
live with.
They will be just flowing
Yes.
and ending
Yes.
where they want to go. So we should be a little bit patient so that also these works go on, because there's no way we can stop them to go on. So we shall just be inconvenienced
Yes.
and
Life will go
move on. Yeah.
There's this whole thing about express penalties,
Yes.
and this is where I want you to elaborate a bit. Some of our viewers feel that it has been abused many a times. I don't know if it has also come to your desk as well as the commandant, that officers no longer want to listen because they have that opportunity to expressly punish someone. So there's loss of that engagement. And some of the engagement, sometimes it's a genuine one.
Yeah.
Sometimes even someone could drive on shoulders because of an emergency. All these things happen. I don't know what your assessment has been about this whole express penalty thing since you guys brought it up.
Yes. On express penalty, you are right. There are officers who are very, what can I call it?
Rigid?
I won't call it rigid. I don't know. But it happens anyway.
Yes.
But again, there are so many officers who caution drivers.
I know that for a fact.
We caution drivers sometimes because you can find some who are really like ignorant about certain things. Like some people come in this country, like our relatives who stay abroad.
Oh yes.
And they don't know that some roads were turned into one-way roads. So you find them driving innocently on those roads. Yeah. So if you determine that this person maybe has not been here for a while, it would be unfair for you to ticket that person. You just need to do some community policing, and you know what, this road is one way now. If you want to end up this side, please pass the other way around to go to this point here.
Yes.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. But again, there are some of us who are a little bit insensitive, I will call it.
The drivers now?
No,
officers. The officers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you find such cases, I believe that it would be nice. It would also send a sign that police is not as bad as we really think.
Indeed.
And then you also find others who are given malicious tickets. Those cases are there, and we handle them.
Yes.
So if a driver comes and he raises such concerns that, you know what, I think this ticket was issued maliciously. The circumstances were A, B, C, D. But this officer failed to listen, and he ended up giving me a ticket.
So there's an avenue for that?
Oh yes, if if the ticket is unfairly issued, you can raise it.
You may have to say that to our viewers.
If the
so for them
ticket
to
is
learn,
unfairly issued, please raise it up. We have our EPS office in Natete, and there are people to address such issues. Yes, circumstances under which the ticket is issued. Yes.
There's something that has become a common practice, and you don't look like a person who has ever done it, but I have seen officers pluck off number plates.
Yes.
In fact, in a very unsightly event, I saw myself, I witnessed an officer carrying around with him a hammer and I think a chisel. I think it was. It was very unsightly for me. It looked ugly. I didn't imagine. And this very smart in a nice uniform with a hammer and a chisel. And I thought, is he going to break a building or something? So the next thing I saw was, kindly comment about this. Is it a new order of the traffic police?
It's not really a new order.
Is it a way of enforcement?
And actually, we are discouraging it. The placking of number plates, unless when the IOV is on ground, because it is the IOV, the inspector of vehicles, who is empowered to deregister a vehicle.
If I find a plaque of my number plate, what do I do?
It is not allowed. You come and raise it.
If I have some energy
we also
like
sent
you.
the message. We sent the message to our officers to stop placking off people's number plates. I'm looking in the camera straight because I want it to go down.
It would make a lot
public.
of,
We sent a message to our officers to beckon them to stop placking off people's number plates. So whoever is doing that is doing it illegally, unless when they have the inspector of vehicles on the ground.
Okay.
Because what the inspector of vehicles does, once he determines that this vehicle is not in a good mechanical condition, he's empowered
Yes.
to deregister that vehicle. So without him on ground, please, it is not allowed.
Who is an IOV?
He's the inspector of vehicles. He's like the doctor of vehicles.
Is he
He's
a
the one
traffic officer as
yes,
well?
they're in the traffic department, but they don't put in a traffic uniform.
Oh.
They sit in Naguru there where they inspect vehicles from.
Yes.
Yes.
So they must be on ground for such to happen.
Yes. If we carry out operations on DMCs,
Yes.
we have to have them on ground with us.
ground to us to
So
make
when
an
I beckon
assessment.
a vehicle to stop, he checks it. He's the doctor of vehicles.
Yes, to
He's
tell
the one
us
who
this
determines
qualifies.
this vehicle is okay, this one is not.
Wow.
Yes.
So, our dear viewers, I think that's quite informative as you go into Christmas. Please, and you see the setup of Uganda, I think people are scared of police officers. They never want to have an engagement or explain to them, like, there's a big space between officers, yet these are our fathers, these are our
Absolutely.
sons, these are our
brothers and sisters, yes.
And I don't know, maybe that's something we need to work on as police to try and close the gap, because this would much be easy if people are close and friends, they would talk. But now with this whole thing.
Yeah.
But again, Fanny Sedeko, Christmas time has continuously brought very many casualties. We have a big challenge, and we have seen this happen many times when there are accidents on the roads. What is the role of traffic or police when there is an accident on the road? We have seen people have been blaming police. There's an accident on what traffic you know, and when I listen, I'm thinking, is he supposed to give first aid? Do you want him to carry the man on his back? And so sometimes purposes of clarity and learning, make putting the right information out there. What is the role of police when an accident happens? Both to the casualties, to the motor vehicles, or to the scene entirely?
Yes. Of course, the role of police is, first of all, to save life and property.
Okay.
So what happens in an accident? If we reach a scene of accident, we first determine who is alive, who is dead, and then those who are alive are given first priority to see that they are evacuated to the nearest health care center. And of course, to manage the scene, because at a scene of accident, if not managed well, you can find other accidents again happening at the same scene.
Yes.
So we need to cordon off the scene, and then we deploy either side of the road to ensure that people are safe. For first, safety for the officers who are responding to the scene, and then safety for other road users who might not know that there's a problem ahead. So, of course, we call on all emergency contacts we have in ambulances, if they are there in the area.
Police cars,
ambulances. Of course, sometimes it is. We usually call our patrol cars to ferry the dead, but for those who are alive, we try to call the ambulances if they are near in the area. If they are not, unfortunately, we have to use our patrol cars, which we don't want to do. Which we don't want to do, but it is the alternative that is there. What shall we do?
Indeed.
Yeah. So we manage the scene well. Of course, after that is done, then we go ahead to clear the scene. After we take our sketch maps, to determine how the accident happened, the brake marks, skid marks. We all mark them, and then we measure them, and then we include in the report, so that we try to pull out a clear picture on what might have caused the accident.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the management continues. After the road, it goes to the officers, and then it involves getting statements from witnesses. It's a whole lot of process.
Okay. There's something, Afandi and Sedeko, that also I would want you to comment on. Public motor vehicles, or cars that basically ferry people. I don't know, I stand to be corrected, whether private or public, which causes more accidents, but it is on record that the worst road users are public vehicles like taxis. I have been been able to see this myself. Even when you're in jam in Kampala, you'll see a taxi come and, you know, they will go over the pavement. They will.
So in this place.
Yes. And now in seasons like this, we witness bus drivers getting out of town, cause lots of accidents. They drive terribly, even in the middle of the city where the no traffic is high. What is to be done to save this situation? Majorly with public transport.
Yes.
I don't know if we have any policy in place,
yes.
or are we looking at something?
Yes, we do. Now, for public service vehicles like buses and taxis, you find that in this season they try to make that quick buck.
Yes.
Quick buck. So what happens? They make so many journeys, return journeys, because now the money is just
coming in.
Yes.
The
moment you get to the park, the bus is full. You leave. Then you get to the other side, the bus is full. Those who want to come. But sometimes again, those people don't come because now so many people are just going to
the villages.
To the villages. But what happens? Policy-wise, as police, we put the route charts. Minister of Works gave those operators route charts. For those ones who are operating or at far distances, say Kasese, Chisoro, Arua, you're not supposed to make a return journey on the same bus, the same driver.
Okay.
It's not allowed. So at our Fika Salama checkpoints, we check your route chart. Is it Kaumansereko on the bus? Yes. Is it passing at the checkpoint at the stipulated time?
Yes.
When it's supposed to pass there? Yes. We don't expect Kaumansereko back that day on the same bus. You get it?
Yes.
If the bus is to come back, it should come back
somebody else
with another driver with his route chart.
Okay.
So that's how we try to fight that.
Is that
Otherwise,
for buses only?
For buses, for now.
Yes.
Those long route
because
buses.
You know that also taxis do long routes.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
But now, right now the policy is on buses because they carry so many people.
Numbers, yeah.
Now, another thing that causes drivers to roll those buses is that fatigue.
Yes.
Actually, buses and trailers, because of that fatigue that's why we discourage return journeys. Because we believe the driver is tired. He's going to be drowsy at the steering wheel, and then he will roll the bus.
Road, yeah.
So we don't encourage them to make return journeys. Because at the scenes of accident, sometimes you wonder what caused this accident. It is a flat road.
Everything.
There was no traffic.
Yes.
So what caused this? And unfortunately, they will never tell you that, you know what, I was dozing. No. They will bring up all sorts of reasons. Whereas not. That wasn't the case. They won't tell you I was dozing on the steering wheel. They will tell you all those reasons. But actually, when we are tired on the steering wheel.
Okay.
And in other countries, they've taken it a notch further. Because if you have drivers who are tired on the steering wheel, technology now has an alarm in the cabin.
Okay.
Once the driver dozes a bit like this, the alarm goes off to warn you that, man,
in the car.
You rest. You get it? They have that policy of resting. They have places where you can go and take a nap and then continue with the journey. But here we shall insist on driving when we are drowsy.
Let's talk about licenses.
Yes.
One of the other causes of accidents found in Sereko is people who are on the road yet they shouldn't be on the road.
Absolutely.
That's one.
Yes.
But also, people could have the licenses, but bad drivers.
Yes.
Most recent, there's this saying we joke in Uganda, by Girambisa, where we talk. It's symbolic of the way someone drives on the road. I stand to be women have been victimized a lot for this kind of driving, though it's not true.
Yes.
I don't think it's true. Though Afani Sereko can confirm, being the one who interfaces with some of these reports. the places where they teach driving, I would want to have your comment, but also people who get licenses to be on the road. I feel there is a big problem with these two parties.
You were right. Most of these driving schools are licensed by the Ministry of Works and Transport. They're given licenses to teach, and once we get you, when you are teaching without a license, we take action against you. Now, there are cases we've had of people getting backdoor driving permits. How they do it,
God
I
knows.
have no idea. But it happens, unfortunately. They're on the road, they're incompetent, they don't know how to interpret road signs, they don't know what a broken line means on the road, they don't know what a straight line means on the road, they don't know all those signs on road, they can't interpret them.
Yes.
So you find them making U-turns, you find them overtaking in a place where you're not supposed to overtake. And then when you stop them, you tell them to stop, they start challenging you. Hey, why are you stopping me? What are you doing? You know? Because they are ignorant.
Absolutely.
Yes. So it is a whole lot of stuff going on, but we try in our small ways to try to manage these problems.
Does a police officer have a right to recommend the withdrawal of someone's license? And if so, under which circumstances?
Officially withdraw?
Yes. For example, can you stop me, a fan, and say, say you are a bad road user, or I detect you don't know how to drive because of how I was done, or probably the interface we have had, and can you recommend or take away my license, that it should be cancelled? I've seen this in other countries.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. But we are actually heading there.
Oh.
Yeah, it is in the pipeline. They're trying to design that kind of policy.
Yes.
When you're caught offending, your points you are demerited.
Yes.
Your points go on reducing until
you can't drive.
You get to zero, and then they will withdraw your permit and you will be suspended. So we are getting there. Actually, it is in the pipeline. Don't be surprised soon when it comes up.
It will be a good thing.
Yes.
Lastly, Afani Sedeko, about the questions before we are here, your message to Ugandans. There's this thing they call traffic court.
Traffic court?
They call it traffic court. The court here, the two leader, what? You've heard of these things. And don't allow take you to a traffic. I don't know if it's a court. I don't know where it sits. I would want you to tell us. Your court here, two leader, a side leader. What is when someone is arrested? And where do you take them? Do you take them to our normal courts? Do you have your own court?
We actually take them to normal courts.
And that court that sits immediately, that is the biggest fear.
You know, when I was younger, again, let me give an example. I used to see people arraigned for court for traffic offenses. They would appear in the afternoon.
Okay.
And then that same day, in the afternoon,
they're sentenced.
Yeah, they're sentenced, or they were fined or something. But now, to reduce on that, to land matters.
It should come to land matters and other civil matters.
To reduce on that burden of ferrying people every day to courts, they introduced the EPS system to try to
reduce on that burden. Courts are already overwhelmed with.
And then what happens? To date, I can still produce you in court if I wanted.
Yes.
I can say, no, I'm not giving you a ticket. I'm taking you to court. Like how we have been doing to most of these border riders who had refused to put the number plates right. We said, no, we are not giving you tickets.
What's the motive, if you may know? What would be the motive of that tilting?
Yeah, because they're trying to dodge identification. Because if someone snatches your bag or your phone,
the number
plate will be flat. And then as he rides away, you can't even tell which number is on that motorcycle.
Are border supposed to have two number plates or one?
Right now there are two. Earlier it was one, it was yellow.
Yes.
At the back.
Okay.
But now there are two in the front and the back, and they're white with black labeling.
As you conclude, Afande, kindly advise our viewers about just two things. What kind of public car should one get into this Christmas season, and what kind of border should one use? And this I mean in terms of features in this festive season, because borders are one of now the causes of death in this country. In addition to the killer diseases and what, now we have added borders.
And they're also dying themselves.
In the same way,
Yes.
funny thing. So if you may guide our viewers out there that if you take a border, maybe look out for this, and maybe if you use a car, look out for this and this. And also, please give your last remarks to our lovely viewers.
All right, thank you. Now, if you're going to use a border, I recommend that, first of all, use the people you know. It is important that you use the people you know. Then, if you don't know that person, don't allow a border to design the route for you.
Oh,
if you are seated on one and you are going to say CPS, and then you tell the border, you pass here, and then it says, no, let's pass here. You say, no. Stand your ground and say, you keep in this lane.
If they can't
this direction. Because sometimes people have been diverted and they were taken in those danger zones where their colleagues are and they yes. So it is bad. Then ensure that you can judge by the person who's riding the border. You can tell by and make a judgment yourself. It goes back to that sixth sense.
Yes.
Where you say, no, this person, if you see someone full of scratches, full of, just know that, no, something is amiss with this person. Yeah. So try to get those clear-headed people. You see that border, you can read the number plate well. It has side mirrors. The person is organized.
Yes.
He's putting on boots and a helmet. You see that that person cares for themselves.
For themselves
Yeah.
first.
So, and then this person can also care for me. Don't just jump on these lumpens, borders. Because you can see that this person is a lumpen. Yeah. Disregard that one. But important to use people you know. Call them.
Yeah.
Come and find me here. I want to go here.
Okay.
At any point, you get a contact. May I have points at contacts at CPS, border people. I have contacts at home. If I'm leaving CPS and I want to use a border, I call someone. If I want to send him somewhere, I call that person. So it happens.
Okay, and for cars, taxis?
And for cars, taxis, same. Same. Use people you know, because we have heard of cases where people have been killed in special hires. Yeah. So again, be very, very cautious. Safety begins with you, not with the police. First, ensure that you are safe yourself, and then other things will come to fall into place. Okay.
Finance, just probably 2 or 3 comments from our viewers here, maybe for you to react or to.
Yes.
For example, we have someone who says, what plan does police have to handle parents who have done an offense and the police has to impound their cars, yet they have babies in the car at the times, at times elderlies? I think this is also a common
I don't think who does that. No. I think some of these ideas are just far-fetched because officers are very sensitive. There's no way you can have a baby in the car and then I park you.
All right.
No, it doesn't happen. Like an elderly person in the car and then I park the vehicle. No.
They are insensitive officers, as you said earlier.
Yes, they are there.
Sometimes there are people who can go an extreme. You wouldn't deny.
But again, that's why these officers are there. If such cases are there,
comes to the
you
office
come
now.
To the area OC and say, you know what, I have a kid in the vehicle and this officer is trying to park my vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And another comment from, that is Kesho from Sironko there. The problem with traffic officers, you are so corrupt. Some of the officers are so corrupt. That's why there is a lot of accidents, and to the officer, please, you inform your officers and orient them adequately before for the Christmas.
Yeah, it is true. That's a song that's been sung for like
quite
forever.
A while. Yeah.
But it takes 2 to tango. That's what they say. Don't bribe our officers, because most times it is the drivers who initiate this process of bribery. And then at the end of that day, they say traffic is corrupt. You allow to be taken to the police station and action be taken as the procedure demands. But don't start demanding, pulling out your wallets and then trying to show our officers money. They are human beings. The way you love money is the way they love money.
They love money.
Please don't tempt our officers with the money.
If you need their assistance,
not that they are corrupt. And secondly,
ask them to assist.
And secondly, you can't blame accidents on traffic officers. They're not the ones driving those vehicles. If you are competent enough on the steering wheel, there's no way you would cause accidents. So you don't drink and drive. You'd be cautious on the road. Eh?
Wow.
It's not about police. Safety begins with you, not with police.
Because at the end of the day, you're the one at risk.
Absolutely. It's not me.
Just probably lastly, we're looking at Moses Moga from New York here. He comes out to say the traffic control officers are doing a great work, but they also need to be upgraded from time to time. I think this is very true. Important.
Yes.
Because the world has changed.
Oh, yeah.
Even the cars have changed also.
Yeah, even technology, even the lights, the control jam, everything has changed.
So then you need to, guys, to always step up time to time. Thank you so much, Afan Nsereko.
You're welcome.
You've done us well, finding time off your very busy schedule.
Thank you.
I saw you answering to many calls as you got in here, and probably everyone would want to have you elsewhere. But thank you for coming to Good Morning Uganda.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And of course, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
And to your family as well.
Thank you.
Enjoy
and
the
to yours
season.
as well.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And of course, for our viewers, thank you so much for being with us since the hour of 6:30. But right now, we want to leave you in the safe hands of my brother Ruben Mpima Kasera, who will be telling us more about sports. Of course, I want him to make a comment about Express and the KCCA match. Team Yasawa Sajja Kabaka, whether we are growing or dying away. I would want to hear that. But thank you so much for watching. Let's have Ruben with the updates in sports.